Alright, hello and welcome back to the channel, and for this video I want to talk about a few different things. I'm going to talk about the new Elden Ring info that came out recently, and I'm also going to talk about my quick initial impressions on the Final Shape DLC, which is really quick before I get started. If you do enjoy this video and want to help support the channel, then leaving a like and subscribing would be very much appreciated. You know, not for clout and not for the potential future of making money at some point. Literally, what I actually really care about is, I don't know what the threshold is, but I would like to be able to upload videos in 1080p with the nice video codec, but YouTube doesn't give that to you until you're a certain size, I guess. So yeah, if you want to help out your boy so he can upload videos that don't look like scrabbled garbage from the 1950s after a nuke goes off, then yeah, that'd be very much appreciated. But yeah, I'll probably be playing X-Defiant in this video, but it's really quick. I want to talk about this new Elden Ring shit because, oh my god, it looks so good. So a few days ago, a bunch of content creators were able to play a few hours of the Elden Ring DLC, and they were allowed to talk about their individual experiences and everything that they found. However, they were not allowed to actually record anything, so all the footage that you see going around online is from the same preset footage that they were allowed to use, but they were allowed to talk about everything that they saw and did. And you know, there's tons of cool stuff, like, you know, the bosses and the dungeons and, you know, NPC interactions and lore and all that, which all seems really cool. But the most important thing to me personally is the new weapons and the new weapon types. So it's really interesting because usually when a From Software DLC comes out, you know, there's always a handful of weapons that they put in the game. And, you know, usually they're unique set weapons in the DLC. There might be, you know, 10 at most in a given DLC. Now, obviously, it depends on how big or how small it is. But yeah, with Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, they're doing something really interesting, I guess, because, you know, it's a giant open world. I think they said it's about the size of Limgrave, the Weeping Peninsula, and a little bit of Caelid. I don't remember where I saw that, so that might not be true. I might just be talking out my ass, but I remember seeing that somewhere officially. Pretty sure. Now, obviously, that's not accounting for any verticality or underground segments that may or may not be in there. I'm just taking that as like flat surface level area, you know, overworld type stuff, not like interiors or anything like that. But yeah, with this DLC, they're actually going to be introducing, what is it, 8 new weapon types? Is it 8 or is it 10? Hold on, let me go down here and check. Yeah, they're introducing 8 new weapon types. So in addition to like unique cool weapons, I'm assuming there's going to be weapons that share the same movesets, but you know, they'll be like generic weapons so that you can find new weapons that you like and that you can use. Because yeah, usually in every other FromSoft DLC, there's like a handful of set unique weapons, but with this, along with the unique weapons, there's also going to be like generic weapons that have the new movesets. Oh, this shit is so hype. I'm so excited. Like, look at this screenshot, by the way. This is, if this doesn't encapsulate everything that I'm excited about in this DLC, then I don't know what the will. If we go down here, here's all 8 of the new weapon types. So we have thrusting shields, which we saw at the end of the gameplay trailer in the Mesmer boss fight. And we have the hand-to-hand arts, which we also saw in the trailer. It's this stuff right here. And we have throwing weapons, which is interesting. So in the footage that's going around, you can see characters throwing axes and daggers and spears and things like that. And they're actually like, it's a weapon, so they're infinite. And it has like a whole moveset and everything. It's not just like a consumable item. And we also saw the reverse hand swords in the gameplay trailer as well. And this is probably one of the more interesting ones, the perfume bottles. So obviously the perfumes are a consumable item in the base game. You know, they give you various effects and buffs and whatnot. And there's the explosive one as well that actually does damage. But yeah, they're consumable, so they're limited. In the DLC, there's actually going to be like equipable weapon perfume bottles that have like movesets and everything. And the little bit of footage that I've seen of them, they look super cool. I'm so glad that like they're going like all balls to the wall with like the new weapon types, because, you know, they could have totally just made some more great swords, katanas, and, you know, other things like that. And that probably would have been fine, but man, this has to be the most expensive and most huge, crazy DLC that they've ever made. Like, it has to be, just like on sheer scale and like new stuff alone. But yeah, the perfume bottles look super cool. I wonder if they'll work with like the perfume talismans in the base game. We'll have to see. There's also the beast claws, which are like super crazy claw weapons that have erratic movesets that are like crazy fast. They look ridiculous and awesome. And one of the interesting ones here is the light greatsword. I guess it's sort of like an in-between between like a greatsword and like an ultra greatsword, maybe. But yeah, they have these like really elegant and almost like theatrical movesets where there's like lots of spinning and you enter a stance and stuff like that. It's really cool. And then you have the great katanas, which are, you know, I'm assuming is going to be like the great sword equivalent of a katana. So yeah, with the thrusting shield, it allows you to two-hand shield and attack with it, but your attacks will do actual real damage for realsies. And yeah, by the way, I'm getting all this from IGN. I just wanted to find a quick list of all of the actual weapon types, because there was a tweet that I saw, but I couldn't find it. So, but yeah, the hand-to-hand arts are probably the weapon type that I'm looking the most forward to, because it's not even like a fist weapon. It's literally you're using your like hands and feet, and I guess you'll be able to upgrade them like a regular weapon, and you know the damage will go up accordingly. But god, these look so cool. I can't wait to walk into Mesmer's boss room and he's just gonna see some dude with no weapons and then just go fucking, oh, it's gonna be so good. You know, it makes me actually kind of glad that I went out of my way to make a slightly over-leveled character so that I could potentially use everything here, because I was not expecting the weapon types to be this varied in the DLC. I'm sure the weapon requirements for all this shit are going to be all over the place, considering how many weapons there are going to be. So yeah, the throwing weapons, like I mentioned earlier, they are infinite. So whenever you throw one or do anything with it, it'll just appear back in your hand. So it is a unique throwing weapon that is you know, balanced accordingly to, you know, being infinite. I guess it's kind of like spells for people who don't have either faith or intelligence stats, which is kind of funny thinking about that. So yeah, the reverse hand swords, instead of two-handing a single sword, they dual wield when you two-hand them, and they have these like cool dashing attacks where you like slide around enemies. Oh, it's really cool. So yeah, the perfume bottle weapons are probably the like most interesting to me. You know, I'm really looking forward to the hand-to-hand stuff, just as like my personal taste, but the perfume bottles look really, really cool as well. And I'm assuming they're gonna do all types of elemental attacks and maybe just straight up explosive or fire damage. It's crazy to think that like perfume bottles as a weapon, you know, it's gonna have all the moves that like a regular sword would. You know, it'll have like a rolling attack, a running attack, a jumping attack, all that. It's just such a weird thing to think about, but god, it's so cool. So yeah, the great katanas, or like an odachi. Also yeah, this article points out that Yura's weapon is like a really big katana, but I guess it's more like the washing pole equivalent instead of like a heavy katana type thing. Also, I like this little line here in the IGN article. Great katanas are historically much larger than a katana blade, making it a great sword in its own right to parallel the Western Zweihander. I don't know why, that line is just like really funny to me. But yeah, a big katana do big slash. Wait, I just realized, because power stancing is in the game, can you power stance like perfume bottles? And also for the actual like normal weapons, I wonder what power stancing is going to be like. I'm assuming they'll have completely new movesets as well. So yeah, the light great swords have these like really eloquent attacks, and they swing really fast, but the startup for the moves are slightly slower than, you know, a regular sword would be. And they also have the stance that allows them to do a bunch of more unique combo attacks and everything. Look at this person in the screenshot just hitting that shit. So yeah, the beast claws are a variant of the claw weapon archetype, I guess. And they basically allow you to become like the crackheads of the Lands Between, or I guess the Shadowlands in this case. Because yeah, the footage that I saw, you like zoom across the screen and like fly around everywhere. Kind of reminds me of the some stuff in Bloodborne with like the claw weapons and stuff like that. So yeah, it says down here, the rapid swings are much more pronounced and even exaggerated compared to regular fist weapons, which you'll need to be mindful of as you unleash a flurry of swipes. So yeah, I can imagine people throwing themselves off cliffs using this weapon in particular. But yeah, that's all of the new weapon types. This, like, I cannot express how excited I am that not only are there like straight up new weapon types in the game, but there's also, it's not just like a single unique weapon with that moveset. It's going to be a bunch of different stuff that you can use, and they'll have different stats so you can use it in different builds and whatnot. Oh, this shit's going to be so good. I'm curious what it's going to be like when you bring all the stuff out of the DLC and back into the main game, how like fucked up and broken it's going to be. But yeah, I also believe in that tweet that I couldn't find that also listed the weapons, it also mentioned the amount of actual bosses that were going to be in the game. So I'm assuming this is not including like mini bosses or anything like that, but it's going to include like actual like bosses with a name and a health bar that aren't just generic enemies. And I believe it said there's going to be 10 actual for real bosses, which is the most bosses that they've ever put in a FromSoft DLC, which is just insane. It comes out in less than, it might be like 2 weeks at this point. Actually, it comes out on the 21st. Might be a little bit over 2 weeks, but oh, it's almost here. Also, yeah, switching back to X Defiant here really quick. I'm definitely feeling the effects of not having the double weapon XP. Yeah, I think I might just be ass at controlling recoil in this game, because people mult me like crazy. Like, they swing in my direction and I just immediately die. I either have to make my gun super accurate, or I have to make my gun shoot really fast. And the MP5 already shoots really fast, so I'm opting to make it more accurate although the mobility on it is not particularly great. Also, yeah, I didn't know this. Apparently, there's like no flinch on snipers when you're shot. So snipers are able to just hold lanes with reckless abandon. And even if you get shots off on them, they'll probably still kill you if they're not absolutely terrible. Like that. Now, granted, I hit him only like once or twice, but still, come on. But yeah, switching topics here really quick. I played the Final Shape DLC for Destiny 2. It came out yesterday, and I streamed the first few hours of my experience with it. Now, I didn't like play through the whole thing fully because I got home relatively late from work. And also, I was playing it with my brother, and he was very tired. He had to wake up early to go to work, so he couldn't stay up and play it all night either. But yeah, apparently it has mixed reviews on Steam, and I'm sure people have their gripes with, like, you know, the story and things here and there about the actual DLC, but they seem to be mostly directed towards the server instability and disconnecting and all that. You know, every single time a From Software DLC comes out, every single time a Destiny expansion comes out, there's always server issues. Even when seasons come out, there's often server issues if it's one that people are really excited for. So I'm not gonna say it's like, okay, we should just be okay with like games launching and servers being unstable, but at the same time, when one of the most anticipated pieces of content for a live service game comes out, especially one so like monumental is not the right word, but one that is so like people have been waiting a really long time for this. You know, this expansion got announced like years and years and years ago, and it was like the final, quote unquote, you know, the end cap to this era of the game. I love you, Blitzshield. You know, I'm not saying it's okay that, like, you know, you pay for a thing and you can't even, like, play the game because the servers are so fucked up because everybody's trying to play it. But at the same time, I can't exactly blame, you know, the developers for, you know, everybody wanting to play their game. I'm trying to think of like really popular like video game stuff that has come out where like the servers were just completely fine and they worked day one. I remember when GTA Online first came out like years and years ago. You're a bitch. Yeah, the servers were just completely fucked when that came out. I mean, I guess Call of Duty comes out, you know, every year, and the servers are relatively fine from what I recall. You know, Call of Duty has a huge player base. I feel like that guy hit me with like 2 bullets and I died. I don't know. Is it a skill issue? Let me know in the comments below. You know, I guess Call of Duty comes out every year and it's fine, for the most part. But yeah, whenever games and stuff like this comes out, you know, there's always servers shit that sucks. But one thing that I would expect to be kind of similar to this would be like when an FF14 expansion comes out. But I don't think there's ever any server issues. Like maybe servers will be at capacity. I know that happened, especially with like Endwalker and stuff when that came out, but okay, he was using a marksman rifle, fair, but still. He just looked at me and I evaporated, but I don't think FF14 has like huge server instability issues. Fuck off. You know, would I love it if Bungie could launch expansions and even seasons without there being huge server issues? Well, I guess with seasons, it's just like, you know, there's always a queue, but that's about it. Actually, I take that back. But would I like it if Bungie could launch content without there being server issues? Yeah, but at the same time, with, you know, high traffic shit, you know, I understand why it happens. And I'm sure they literally do everything that they can to make the servers as stable as possible. But yeah, besides all of these server and connectivity issues with the expansion, so far, I've only played a few missions. Again, I only streamed it for a few hours, but a little bit of it that I did play, I actually have been really enjoying. You know, Destiny has this weird thing where it's constantly fluctuating between like pretty good to being like downright abhorrent and awful garbage. You know, that goes for its gameplay and its story. And I feel like so far the gameplay and the story are both living up to, you know, where I would personally want it in terms of like quality. You know, Witch Queen was known for its really good story and its really good legendary campaign experience. And then Lightfall kind of felt, I was gonna say it had a pretty good gameplay but a really bad story, but it kind of fell short on the gameplay side of things, and that's mostly to do with the campaign constantly giving you Strand and then taking it away, and then having that be intertwined with the story where half the story is like a training Strand montage. You know, when Lightfall's gameplay was good, it was really good, but then it wasn't always like that because it was constantly taking away the fun part of the gameplay from you. So, but yeah, Transcendence is very prismatic so far. I don't have everything yet, like I said, because I haven't beaten it, but the little bit of the subclass that I have used is really fun, and I don't even have the new super yet. So yeah, TLDR, service issues aside, the expansion seems very good. I'll have to see what happens, how I feel about it once I beat it, which I'll be streaming it later today with my brother, whenever he gets home. Oh, also on the stream, for some reason, I would randomly just drop frames in some sections of the game. Not in my game, by the way, just on OBS, but OBS was also not saying I was dropping frames, so I don't know what was going on there. But hopefully, you know, I messed with some stuff on OBS and my computer, so hopefully it'll be fine, because if that continues to happen, I'll be very, very, very annoyed. But yeah, this isn't really a spoiler, but you know, everybody knows that you beat the campaign, and then the continuation of the story, you know, happens in the raid, and then after the raid, there's probably going to be another mission, everybody's assuming. So once I get to the end of the campaign, as it stands currently, you know, I'll see how I feel about that. But then, even then, I'm still gonna have to, you know, hold my total opinion on it until the raid is beat and the final thing comes out. But yeah, so far I'm actually enjoying it quite a bit. But yeah, with all that said and done, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the video there. If you did enjoy this video and want to help support the channel, then leaving a like and subscribing would be very much appreciated. Please, I want to use the nice video codec. Please subscribe to my channel so that YouTube will give it to me. But anyways, later.